Breaking Up with Happiness, where we come together to grow mind, body, and spirit so we can in turn go out and make the world a brighter and sweeter place for ourselves and for others. And I've told you before, these little pop-ups, I just talk about a few of the sponsors. I don't tell you all of them because I give them all love all throughout the season, and Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all the places. And so today, thank you to Amor Boutique. That's where this little top came from. Y'all seen it before because I've worn it before on the show. Thank you so much for Dixon from American Home Shield. It is a warranty company. So I promise you they're a lot better at doing what they do than I am at saying what they do. So yeah. And then thank you to my precious, precious friends, Jason and Sherry Roberts with Holiday Beach Mechanical. I use them personally myself. In fact, all these people I talk about, if they're on my podcast, that means I am using their service. I'm not just blowing smoke. I promise you. So this is today a little pop-up, and I'm not going to call it a quickie because every time I do, my daughter goes, Mom, seriously? I don't think she said seriously, but she does kind of tell me that I shouldn't say that. So all right, I got to tell you something. So this little cup says, kind people are my kind of people. Well, that should be more than just on my coffee cup, right? Kind people are my kind of people. That should be everywhere, in everything, in every situation, in all situations. So I don't normally do this because even though I am a Jesus follower, this is not a Christian podcast. It is a person who is a Christian doing a podcast talking about love and forgiveness and kindness and hope and all the things that the God of my understanding has taught me. So, but this verse is something that I need to hear today. And I want to talk to you about how I did not exemplify this with my truck situation. And I'll tell you the story in just a minute. So this is a verse, Luke 27:28. But to you who are listening, I'm listening, God, I say, love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you, and pray for those who mistreat you. I'm usually pretty good at that. I'm usually pretty good. And to tell you how important this concept is to me and what we do. And I'm leading up to my big mistake I made this week. And I want to talk to you about it. And I want to ask forgiveness for it. I want to make amends for it. And all those things. At my company, we have a social media policy. Because many years ago, when two of the candidates, I mean, mention which two, were running against each other, people were losing their ever-loving minds. I mean, they were losing their minds, y'all. And I go, this is not good for my business. I'm a love company. We don't do this kind of thing. We don't bash. We don't ridicule. We don't draw attention to things like that. And we also don't enter into a rhetoric that we can't control because people go crazy. You know that, right? So I made a social media policy. I think we did that in about, I want to say 2014, maybe before that. I mean, it's been a long, long time we've had a social media policy. So I don't allow any talk of politics, no talk of anything unkind about another company. If you want to talk ill about a restaurant, instead of talking ill about that restaurant, you can talk kind about another restaurant. Talk about someplace you love that you had a great experience from, but no bashing anybody, not calling any negative attention to another human being. That is our policy. That's kind of my personal policy too, So, fast forward to this week. Well, actually it's been going on for a while. So lately, or it's been going on a while, but when it started damaging my property, I really started paying attention to it. Big semi trucks will come and park in my parking lot, usually overnight. I guess they're sleeping. They're trying to just get a respite, and they'll park. So one time this big old rig parked on the side, and they just dumped oil everywhere. And I can't get it up, right? So, and I don't know what that company was, so I can't really get in touch with them to make them do anything, and I don't know if they would do anything anyway. So we keep on having this problem. Big trucks come in. So one day I went to the internet, and I said, guys, what do I do? These big old trucks keep parking in my driveway, and I didn't even think about the load, the heavy load that they were putting on my driveway. And so I got like, gosh, 60 something responses, really good things that I didn't even know. Like, you got to put up towing signs saying that you'll be towed if you park there, and then I can call the towing company and have them tow, which would make me feel so bad, so bad. But you can do that. But until you put the sign up and warn them that they probably should know not to do it, but they're just trying to find a place to land, a place to sleep. They're not trying to be mean, so let me kick my shoes off here. Get comfy. I've even got my little slippers down here, y'all. Y'all can't see that. So they won't park there anymore, hopefully, or if they do, I can have them towed away. So I got all kind of responses. That was wonderful. That was a fine post because I didn't call out who the trucking company was. I didn't say anything disparaging about them. I just wanted to know two things: how to stop it and how to get the oil up. Because another vehicle came and dumped all kinds of oil in my parking lot after I just paid lots of money to pressure wash everything. This week, a truck, I was going to the gym, and I was going a little later than normal. It's like 5 a.m. and normally I'm there by 4:30 a.m. So 5 a.m. So there's a truck there and it's on. You can tell they must be sleeping in there. So me and my silliness, I get out at 5 a.m. I knock on the door, nobody comes, and I start to get really aggravated. But I wasn't really aggravated at him. I was aggravated at the fact that this has been going on a while. Number one, I haven't done what I should do. I haven't got the signage and put it up to tell people not to get there. So I haven't done what I should do. And so it's been brewing a long time, and they messed up my thing. So that was on my mind. So I wrote a note. Okay. But worse than the note was I put it on Facebook. Not the note, but I'll tell you in a second. So, and I made it big too. I said, this is not, with underlined, truck parking. You will be towed. Karen, owner. So yeah, I put a big, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it says, this is not, big letters, underline, truck parking. You will be towed. Karen. Okay. I could have handled that better. Well, he wrote to me, okay, this is a family show. The only cuss word you'll ever on here is the word ass, because I'm a happy ass, which that's really not even a cuss word, to be honest with you. But he wrote something that starts with an F and the next word, you. And it wasn't like fantastic you, fabulous you, freaky you, you know what I mean? So that's what he wrote to me. I called the trucking company and I said, sir, I said, just want to let you know that my parking lot is not a place to be parked in. I'd appreciate if you let your guy know. And I did tell the guy that the guy wrote me a sweet little note, And they were very kind about it. They said, we're so sorry. We will handle it. We're just so very sorry. So, you know what? But how's my part in it? This is my part. This is the part that I got wrong. I got a lot wrong. I'll tell you what I did. Number one, I didn't do what I could do. Sometimes we have problems or recurring problems because we don't do our part. We don't do the part that we can do. And for me, that would be order the signs, put the signs up, maybe put some cones out. There's many things I can do to detract it, to stop it, right? Can't do anything about what's happened in the past, but I can fix the future to the best of my ability. So that's number one. Number two, the note I wrote. Okay, I could have written a different note. My note should have read, dear sir, I know you're just trying to find a place to land, and I respect that. But please, in the future, don't park in this lot. It's not designed for big trucks. I hope you find a great place. That's what I could have said. I could have done that. Not, this is not truck parking. You will be towed. Of course he said, fabulous you. That was not a nice, kind note. That was not kind. It wasn't nice. It wasn't loving. It wasn't doing what God prescribes for me to do. It's not. It's not what I'm prescribed in my life, to have a peaceful life. My life is only as peaceful as I allow peace in and I give peace out. And that is not contained to peaceful times. It is it shows up best and shows up strongest in the times when maybe someone's not wrong to me, maybe not kind to me, maybe I'm stressed. I don't know. But that's when I have to dig deep and grab the peace inside of me. Okay. The other thing I did wrong, I put it on Facebook, y'all. But I didn't say anything mean. I just said, this truck is parked in my driveway. What I gotta get them to stop. I don't know, but the part that I did really, really, really wrong is I showed the truck company's name. That wasn't nice. That was like, and people have tried to justify it. There is zero justification in what I did. Zero. Because what I did by posting that picture, which is against my social media policy that I created, that I invented, that I enforce, okay? I disparaged the whole company. When I show something that someone, and they probably did it innocently. Now, he didn't innocently write me the little love note back, but he was aggravated because I wasn't kind to him. I promise you, if I had been kind to him, he might have responded differently, And you know what? The thing is, even if I had been kind to him and he hadn't responded differently, that wouldn't have been on me. I would have held no responsibility in it. But in this situation, I do have a responsibility. I'm responsible for my side of the street. They talk about that a lot in AA, about being responsible for your side of the street. I can't fix what someone else has done. I can only fix what I have done by correcting my behavior, by apologizing for my behavior and making amends. And making amends means acting differently. Making amends is not just about an apology. Making amends is about living your life differently. So, guess what? I'm going to write an apology note to the trucking company, and I've since taken the post down, and write an apology note to the trucking company for putting it on Facebook, even though I didn't say anything mean or bad or anything. And I'm also going to thank them for taking care of it. And I hope they just have a great, successful time, So that's what I did wrong, And I think that so many times in life, we kind of get what we're putting out. If I put out love and kindness and forgiveness and joy and hope and peace, guess what? That's what I'm getting back. If I look for hope, joy, peace, love, forgiveness, all those things, that's what I'm going to get back. That's what I'm going to see. That is what that reticular activation system in my mind and body and soul is going to see in this world. I absolutely see and find that which I'm looking for. I absolutely receive back in life what I've put out to others. So that's what's on my mind today, y'all. Kind people are my kind of people. I want to be a kind person always. And, my family gets on to me. My mama used to get on to me, and now my children mostly get on to me for letting people walk on me. They think I allow too many people to mistreat me and walk on me. There's a difference. Yeah, I'm going to fix it where people don't park in my parking lot anymore, because the heavy weight on my parking lot will destroy my parking lot. And I'm responsible not just to me and what happens at my company. I'm responsible to all the people that work at my company, all the people that rent in my company space, which I love so dearly. I'm responsible to all of them. So if I mess up the parking lot, I mess up a lot of people, but I can handle it in a beautiful, kind way. So I'm going to do all that so they won't do it. But what I'm not going to do is retaliate, be unkind, get even in the way the world gets even. My brand of getting even, y'all, is the only people we have to get even with are those that have helped us. And I wrote a blog this week about keeping score. There's a difference between keeping score and keeping track. I want to keep track of how I'm living my life. I want to keep track of, am I making good choices? And if I don't make good choices, when I'm wrong, do I promptly admit it? Do I promptly admit it? You know, and I've talked about this before. My husband was wonderful at that. He was glorious at that. I've never seen anything like it, but I've also not seen many people that lived with such a level of peace in their lives. And y'all, one of my favorite things when I visit a Catholic church, I love it when they say, peace be with you and also with you. Just think about that for a minute. Peace be with you and also with you. And we can do that, y'all, even if we don't agree, even if we don't have the same mindsets, even if we don't worship the same God, even if we don't love the same way, we can live in peace with each other by offering peace. And you know what? If the peace doesn't come back to us, that's okay. Those persons are still working on what they're working on. And it's not my responsibility. It's my responsibility to clean up my side of the street. So that was my little pop-up today. And I hope you got something out of it. And my wish for you today, I'm just going to do an affirmation off the top of my head for all of us. I affirm and I declare that I live my life in peace. I affirm and I declare that I offer love to those that would not love me. I affirm and I declare that I offer forgiveness to those who would not forgive me. I affirm and I declare that when I'm wrong, when I make a wrong choice, that I promptly admit it. I affirm and I declare that I will take each day and enter that day with love and kindness and forgiveness in my heart. And I believe that is what I will also find. All right, y'all. Be sweet, y'all. Bye.